Here's a shot out of a cannon. Oprah, Barbara Walters, your wife. You gotta fuck one, marry one, kill one. Go!
Instead of doing a normal comparison video, I decided to have a little bit of fun and make a game out of it. This is Fuck One, Marry One, Kill One.
J-E-T-S, Jets!
Before we get started, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to leave a comment to get yourself entered to win a Jamal Adams I Want You for the New York Jets poster. Alright, so Fuck One, Marry One, Kill One. A fun little way to do a comparison video, I guess. I'm going to be doing three separate videos. The first one's going to be edge defenders, which is this one, and then we're going to go into offensive linemen and skill position players. So if you haven't played Fuck One, Marry One, Kill One, it's a game where you pick three people and you decide if you're going to fuck, marry, or kill each one of those people.
I don't know, I want to marry you.
Oh, I made a mistake.
I didn't choose three players, I chose five, just to give us a little more diversity. So there's going to be multiple of each category, and then I'll go over which ones I would prefer us to go over or to get at the end. If you get a fuck, that is going to mean that we want a 1-year contract with you. It's going to be a short one-night stand. If you get a marry, we want a long-term deal with you. And if you get a kill, obviously, we don't want you here. Players will be graded in 5 different categories: their Pro Football Focus grade, their age, their production, their scheme fit, and the connection within the organization as far as if they would be on our radar, I guess. And then we'll do a little bonus category of how much money they're going to be worth as well. Players can earn up to 3 fighter jets, but beware of the butt fumble. You don't get any points if you get a butt fumble. All right, guys, let's jump right into it. All right, so first up on our list is going to be Brandon Graham. He's 6'2", 265 pounds. The Philadelphia Eagles aren't going to have enough cap space to re-sign him, so more than likely he will be hitting free agency. He's 31 years old, and Pro Football Focus gave him a grade of 88. Now, that's in the upper echelon in terms of edge rushers go as far as grading went for the season. Production-wise, or scheme fit-wise, I guess, he is used to the 4-3. Philadelphia does run a base 4-3 defense, so he has had production in that. He only got 4 sacks this past year. Now, that is something to take into account, but he also did get a lot of pressures. He got 76 pressures, which put him first in terms of overall hurries on the quarterback. I've said the stat before: when you have pressure on the quarterback, it drops their efficiency, their quarterback rating from the equivalent of what a Big Ben is down to Blaine Gabbert. So just getting that little bit of pressure, even if it's not closing out a sack, is still important for our defense. Now, cost-wise, I don't believe he's going to cost much due to his age. I think he could get a 1 or 2 year deal. I do think that there's not really any connection with the Jets and Graham. Other than him living in Philadelphia and the Jets playing in MetLife, so it's sort of close, right up the turnpike. So maybe he doesn't want to move across the country or something and wants to stay relatively local when it comes to the Jets. Now, he received 10 fighter jets overall in terms of his grading goes. I would prefer to sign him to a 1 or 2 year deal, try to get the most out of him. So in terms of our grading system, that will be a fuck for Brandon Graham.
3 for 3 on third downs.
The second player we're going to look at is Dante Fowler Jr. 6'3", 255 pounds. The dude is an athletic beast. He was drafted 3rd overall in the 2015 NFL Draft before he tore his ACL on the first day of minicamp. So he really only played 3 seasons. The Jaguars decided not to re-up his 5th-year option, so they voided his contract. They traded him halfway through the season last year to the LA Rams, where Fowler helped them get to a Super Bowl. Now, grade-wise, his Pro Football Focus score was only a 67, but age-wise, he's 25 years old. So because he came into the league so young and he's hitting free agency so young, there's value in that upside. He should just start hitting his prime in the next year or two. So this is a gamble that I think the Jets could take. I'm going to give him a butt fumble in terms of production because he's only averaged about 5 sacks a year, and for someone with as much upside as he has, there's really no excuse for that level of production, especially when you consider playing in Jacksonville. He had some stud defensive linemen, and then playing this year with the Rams, he had Sue and he had Aaron Donald next to him. So will he have similar production? Scheme-wise, he doesn't really fit the Jets per se. When he came out, he was a 3-4 edge defender. Now, he did spend some time a little bit in both kinds of roles. I think he can play on I think he can play either that linebacker or edge defender in a 4-3 defense. I think he's fast enough to do it. So I don't foresee that being an issue. So money-wise, I'm going to use Brandon Graham's former contract as the baseline. When he was 26 years old, he signed a 4-year, $26 million deal. That was when he was averaging 4 sacks per year. So I think with Fowler, obviously the price kind of goes up as the cap has increased and the demand has increased for pass rushers. So let's call it between $30 and $40 million on a 4-year deal. Connection-wise, McCagnon did try to draft Dante Fowler in 2015. He was taken 3 slots ahead of us when we took Leonard Williams. And then again, we tried to trade Teddy Bridgewater this past season for Fowler. Obviously, it didn't work out, but I think the connection between McCagnon and Fowler is strong, whether that is because he actually liked him as a prospect or because he liked him for the fit that was Todd Bowles' defense is up to be seen, I guess. I think Greg Williams could certainly utilize this guy. I think he could get a lot of production out of him. But overall, Dante Fowler gets an 8 fighter jet score. So I will list him as a fuck in terms of our game. I would prefer him on a short-term prove-it deal or a low commitment in terms of years on a multi-year deal. Next up is Frank Clark, 6'3", 265 pounds. This guy is an animal. He has been so productive for the Seahawks over the last few years. He scored out as a 77.4 on Pro Football Focus. He's going to be 26 years old, so hitting the prime of his career. It'll be interesting to see if he actually hits free agency because the Seahawks have about $52 million in cap space, and to have a pass rusher that productive hitting the market, I don't necessarily see that happening. I think they'll try to retain him. So in terms of scheme fit, he did run the 4-3, so he is a fit for us. Production-wise, he's averaging over 10 sacks a year, so he is absolutely dominating the offensive lines that he's faced. I think that type of production, if we can add it to the Jets, obviously would be huge. Now, if he does hit free agency, I do think he'll be paid a lot of money. More than likely, he'll be the highest paid free agent edge rusher. Based on his age, the production that he's already had, the caliber of teams he's had to go against, I think he's a home run pick. I don't think that the Jets are really going to have a shot at him. As far as connection goes, there's no coaching staff that I'm aware of that would want him in terms of having him in the past. I don't know if he's had any connections as far as the East Coast area. He's from Ohio and played his college ball at Michigan, so if he leaves, maybe he looks to go to the Browns or somewhere in the Midwest, I guess. But if he shakes loose, I will completely get down on one knee and marry Frank Clark. He would be a great pickup for the Jets. All right, so Ziggy Ansah. Most Jet fans know him because he was set to hit free agency last year. He's 6'6", 270 pounds. Dude's a freight train. He is absolutely huge. He played on the franchise tag this past year. More than likely, the Lions will not franchise tag him again, just because the sheer amount of money it would be worth. It's not necessarily worth it for the production they've been getting out of him. Now, his age could be an issue. He's going to be 30 years old when the season kicks off. Pro Football Focus gave him a grade of 74, so he's still being pseudo-productive at that age. In terms of scheme fit, he has played in all different types of defenses, so I think he would fit in our 4-3 defense. He played under Patricia this past year, and when asked what type of defense he's going to play, he just said yes. So 3-4, 4-3, obviously switching back and forth a lot. He hasn't really been productive the last 3 years. He did have 12 sacks 2 years ago. But the thing you have to look at with that is he had 3 sacks in 3 different games. So 9 of his 12 sacks came in 3 games. That's obviously great. I mean, if you can get the quarterback down, that's obviously the name of the game. But I think what I'd like to see from him is more consistency over the course of an entire season. By getting that many sacks in one game, I can see he's dominating and finding the weakness in that tackle that he's going up against, which is a pro. But when those sacks come against the Giants, who don't have a good offensive line, or some other teams that may not have the best offensive lines, I think there is some pause for concern there. In terms of connections, I don't know anyone on the Jets that would really have much of a connection with him. Maybe Jim Bob Cooter, but he's on the offensive side. Obviously, Ziggy's on the defensive side. So I'm not sure we necessarily see eye to eye on that. I do think money-wise he's going to try and cash in. This could be his last big contract, especially because he's missed a little bit of time over the last few years. I think as far as what the Jets should do, I think the Jets should kill this one. I don't think they should be anywhere near Ziggy. I think the lack of production mixed with the age are kind of deal breakers for me. I don't think it's really a good idea to touch someone. That sounds good with a fucking. I don't think it's a good idea to really go out and look for older free agents, especially one that's going to command such a high price tag. The last free agent I want to talk about is Trey Flowers, the defensive end from the New England Patriots. He's going to be 26 years old when the season starts, and he graded out as an 89.7 on Pro Football Focus. So the highest grade of the guys that we're talking about here today. Bill Belichick loved to use this guy all over the field. He played on all different parts of the line. I think scheme-wise, he's a home run fit. He could really slide all over the place. I would like to add him in conjunction with another edge rusher, whether that's one of the other guys we listed or maybe someone at the third pick. In terms of production, he's averaged about 7 sacks per year. He has gotten better each one of the seasons that he's played under the Patriots and under Bill Belichick. The last 2 seasons, he's registered 45 QB hits and 60 QB pressures. So like I mentioned before, those quarterback pressures are so key. If you can knock down that QB rating, no matter how you do it, it's a good move overall. It's going to help your safeties, going to help your linebackers, going to make everything a lot easier for those guys. In terms of connection, we've played him in the division he's been in the division the last 4 years. He's played the last 3 years. So seeing him twice a year, I think we have a good eye for the type of player he is. And hopefully McKagan's been watching that tape because Trey Flowers can absolutely do it all. He has a plethora of pass rush moves as well as just the presence of mind to know when a run play is coming, a pass play is coming. He's good at everything across the board. In terms of grade, I'm going to give him a 14 fighter jet score. I think if you can weaken a division rival while making yourself stronger in an area of weakness, I think that is a huge move that you need to make. So I would absolutely marry Trey Flowers if I could, if the Jets get the opportunity to bring him in. So if you had to, gun to my head, pick 3, it would be fuck Dante Fowler on a 1-year contract, marry Trey Flowers long-term, weaken that division opponent, and kill Ziggy Ansah. That was pretty gruesome. Let me know what you guys think down below. Did you enjoy the game? If not, I could switch it up. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment. As always, guys, go Jets.
Jets!